Welcome to Regan's Corner, sports fans. I got a special guest here. But as always, down below is our sponsorships. Also, now, big announcement, are sponsored by the Hawk in Des Moines, Iowa, or Iowa City. But we got a nice little Kentucky Gymnast on the program. SEC, one of the best conferences for gymnastics in the country. Okay. Isabella, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Isabella Magnelli. At the University of Kentucky, and I do gymnastics there. I major in merchandising, apparel, and textiles, and I minor in business.
Nice. So how did you get into gymnastics?
I got into gymnastics when I was 4 years old, and my parents put me in it because I have an older sister, and she did gymnastics, and so they were like, how about she tries it? And then I ended up falling in love with it.
For sure. So did your sister kind of help you through kind of the aspects of gymnastics from a young age?
Yes, I think she did. I can't really remember because I was so young, but I always wanted to be like her. I did everything that she did, so I think she definitely did.
Okay. So what is your favorite event that you do?
My favorite event is vault and beam, but I actually love all of them. I enjoy doing all of them, so.
For sure. So what kind of techniques on the beam that we got to know, we got to from one of the best in the country?
I would say a lot of practice for the beam, definitely. I know my club coach really made me like the beam person I am today, and then going into college and like being already so good at beam, and then my college beam coach Rachel, she also helped me just like perfect everything. I always have like very tight on the beam, and you always have to make sure like your hips are always straight and always in line. But fun fact, well, I don't know if it's fun fact, but I don't really have that good balance, but I'm very good on beam.
Ooh, that's a very fun fact.
Yeah.
So with everything else, but you have zero balance, but on the most balanced thing in sports, you have very much balance. That's
Yeah.
very
Like I went paddle boarding a couple years ago, and it was so hard for me. Yeah, I don't know. It's so weird.
that's a little bit off,
Yeah.
but I mean, I'm not share it. I have no balance, but I played basketball too. I mean, like some sports it just clicks. Some things don't. I mean, but that's very interesting that you have one of your favorite events is beam, and that's basically balance, but you can't.
I
But
know.
but what was like the competitiveness in your club kind of gymnastics?
Like with my own teammates or competing?
Both.
Well, I'm very fortunate to have like my whole club career. I always had older girls to look up to. They always like pushed me to be like better. And I know some girls on my Kentucky team now, they didn't have older girls. They were the older girl. So I'm very fortunate to have that. Now we were very competitive towards each other. And competing in club is so much different than college gymnastics. It's all individual. So you're basically just competing like for yourself, and then your team's there with you and cheering you on and everything. Um, I would say it's very competitive in club gymnastics, even like teammate wise too. Um,
Okay. Nice. So what was kind of point as I'm here, I'm going to be a Division One, or I can possibly bring this even further?
when did I decide that?
When did it kind of like click in your mind where it was like, yeah, I'm going to be a
Sorry, it went out. You went out.
Yeah, I know. That good old Indiana Wi-Fi, you
I
know.
was gonna say,
But
is it my Wi-Fi?
no, it was mine. I switched it because I'm outside the house. But getting back to the interview, okay. So when was it kind of the moment where I knew I had these kind of offers and I'm here. I'm one of the best gymnasts in the high school kind of circuit.
I think it would have to be after my or during my freshman year of high school. In the beginning of the season, I broke my radius in my left arm, and I had to get 2 plates and 12 screws. And that's when colleges start to look at you for recruiting and everything. That's when you start the process. So I think that was very hard for me because I thought I was like not going to get into college. Like everyone was going to have their spots taken in the school that I was interested in going into. Um, and I ended up making nationals that year. So I ended up being back in 3 months doing everything, and I ended up making nationals that year, and that's when colleges started to really look at me, they saw me at nationals, and then I felt like ever since then, I was like, "Wow, like, I have so much talent. I'm so blessed to have, like, this great team around me and, like, um, all the talent I have and everything." So I think that really was the year that made me realize that I am this good to like gymnastics and compete there.
For sure, absolutely. So, like mentally, after coming off of that big surgery, big like injury and stuff like that, what was kind of the mental hurdles you had to go before going into nationals and stuff like that?
Well, thankfully I was able to compete 2 meets before I competed states.
Hmm.
So I had like I would guess like practice meets, but they weren't, they counted, to get me ready for the big meets.
Right.
Um, but I was just so used to competing out there in like big competitions and everything that I just let my body and my mind just do the work, and I tried to relax and be confident in myself and everything.
So, what was kind of the schools other than Kentucky that you were looking at?
I never had like a dream school. I know a lot of gymnasts always are like, "Oh my gosh, I'm here," but like I never had a dream school. My options were like so open. But I was looking at Penn State, University of Illinois, Arizona State, and Ohio State.
Ohio State. So you were kind of sticking almost into the Big Ten area and stuff like that, since you're from
I
kind of New Jersey and stuff like that. And
I think well actually I'm from New York.
New York, my
Yes,
bad.
I live in New York. Well, it's okay because I live in New York, but my club gym was in Jersey. So
Okay.
I'm right on the border. But well, conference was a big part in my decision. Of course, Big Ten was better than all the other conferences in the schools that I was looking at.
Hmm.
But I wasn't pleased with the offers that I had. I wasn't like, oh, I know I should go to this school. I never got that feeling, and I never wanted to jump to a commitment. Even though I was so young, I didn't want to jump to a commitment so early until I realized the best school for me.
All right. So that first visit in Kentucky, how was that kind of like?
Well, so funny. I was on the phone with Rachel, the assistant coach, and we were just talking about school and everything, and I was like, I want to come out to visit. So I had an unofficial visit there. I was with my father, and we saw their blue and white meet, which is like an inter squad. So
Hmm.
it's just their team competing. And I was just there, and I was just looking at the team and where we compete and everything, and I was just like, I want to be a part of that. And so me and my father like toured around the campus and everything, and I was like, I felt so comfortable, like it
Hmm.
was home. I just got a feeling in my heart, and I was just like, I should definitely just go here.
For sure. And plus, being from New York, there's a little bit of a weather change as well. Kentucky, I know, is kind of up and down, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it's gotta be a lot warmer than
Yes.
what we have to do up here in the north.
Yes, definitely. And like I at first when I was first starting my recruiting process, weather like was a big factor. But then I realized that I shouldn't make weather a priority of where I wanted to go to. So
For sure.
mhm.
Okay. Let's talk about a little bit of that freshman kind of feel, okay? Especially since COVID
Yeah.
kind of hits and stuff like that. And I'm sure it kind of messed with the process of recruiting as well. But kind of take us through kind of training through that crazy year last year.
Well, it was hard because I didn't get to compare it to just a normal year in college. So
Mhm.
coming into it, um, I just thought this was just how college is. Kentucky at first, it wasn't like a very hard with COVID and masks and everything, but it was crazy because we were one of the only teams that would actually do gymnastics with like our mask over our nose. And so I know a lot of teams like they took it off when they did skills and then put it back on. And I remember posting a video of me doing my series on the beam with like my mask on, and the amount of people that commented was like, "How are you doing beam with the mask on? Like, how do you see and everything?" Um, and I was like, honestly, I just had to get used to it. Like, that's how life was. So I honestly had one of the best years ever, and even with COVID. But being a sophomore now and like having some of the restrictions not there anymore, I can definitely tell why like sophomore, juniors, and seniors miss not having COVID because it is just insane. Like there's just so many more people around campus. Um, I have in-person classes now. I love in-person classes in college. I think it's great. It was really hard for me to go online. I just felt like it's so hard to have motivation when you're just sitting in your room and doing homework and everything and getting tests and stuff. But competition-wise, with my freshman year, that was like one of the best moments ever. I had so much fun. The adrenaline and everything. It's just amazing. It's, like, so hard to explain. You just have to, like, be in the moment because I would, like, watch college gymnastics on TV and everything, and I'm like, "Oh my god, that looks so much fun," but when I was the person there, it's just even more fun.
Sure, absolutely.
Mhm.
So, talk about kind of the SEC meets and stuff like that, and kind of the nerves or kind of in that moment.
So, do you want me to talk about SEC championships, or do you want me to talk about, like, competing against SEC teams?
We'll go championships first, and then we'll go against teams later.
Okay.
Okay.
So SECs was great. So normally we don't compete on podium, which means that like all the events are elevated.
Mhm.
Um, but so SECs was in a huge arena and it was on podium and everything. And the energy in there was so cool because that's when you're competing against all the SEC teams together. And so like the competition there was insane. And when I'm at competitions, I try not to look at the other team. Excuse me. I'm so focused on what my team and I am doing. And so CC's was just like an incredible experience.
For sure. And plus, you get to see one of your best friends, Olivia Dunne from
Yes, that was
LSU.
amazing.
LSU.
Mhm.
So, talk about that kind of relationship and how that felt.
So me and Livy became very close our senior years in high school. We were always friends, but she always practiced alone because she was elite. But then she decided her senior year she wanted to do club gymnastics because she just wanted to have fun with it. And so
Mhm.
we became best friends our senior year. And when we knew that we were both going to SEC schools, we were so excited to compete against each other. And last year, LSU was at Kentucky, and LSU was ranked second, and we were ranked 12th or 15th around there. and it was actually great because we beat them at home. So
Oh,
yeah, so although we're friends, we're all very competitive towards each other. But yeah, it was kind of a cool feeling like beating Alicia and like seeing her and everything. But our relationship is so good because although we're on different teams and there is competition, like we don't let the competition get in between our relationship. But yeah, it's very cool seeing. It was also really cool seeing her at SECs and regionals and stuff like that. So it's good I get to still see her.
for sure. It's nice that you guys both landed on the same conference. Just what's the odds of that?
I
I
know.
mean, it's just like you said, Big Ten is just amazing conference as well.
Yeah.
But you got
Nothing beats SEC.
nothing can compete with the SEC, you know.
And it's
But
actually funny because we also have another one of our teammates. She's a freshman out of Alabama. So now it's really going to be cool seeing all of us together at SECs.
sure, absolutely. So, what kind of outside like information would you give to gymnasts even around here, to kind of get themselves into a high level college, such as Kentucky, a Michigan, or a Indiana, or something along those lines?
I would just basically say, like, especially when you hit like middle school, you really know if you love the sport of gymnastics or not. A lot of girls go through the phase where they're so good at gymnastics, but they lose the love for the sport because it's such a hard sport. And
Mhm.
coaches and everything are just so hard on children, even parents sometimes. So I would just honestly say, like, if you love the sport, then keep it up. Like, keep working hard on it, achieve your goals. Never stop giving up because I'm sorry, don't ever give up. Don't ever give up because at the end, it's always so worth it. I knew my goal was to always compete college gymnastics, and having that saying yes, I want to go to Kentucky was like one of the best reliefs. And like, it was just so exciting and everything. And it's such a great process to go through the recruiting process. But getting recruited and then finally saying yes to the school that you know you should go to is like such an amazing feeling. You feel like you don't have any stress on your back and everything. So I would just say just keep working hard and be motivated, be determined, be confident, and just never give up because I'm telling you, at the long run, when you get to college gymnastics, it is just like no other. It is amazing.
So, what is the kind of the goals that you are setting for yourself this year, since your sophomore year is
Yeah.
very close? The
Yeah.
season's very close ahead of us.
Yes. So I competed vault and beam my freshman year. So that was so cool. But honestly, my goals for this year is I got to do floor again because I stopped doing floor last year for the whole season due to like my ankle was bothering me, and
Hmm.
so I started doing floor again. So I think my goals are to get into floor lineup, continue being handball, and be an option for bars. I was very close last year, and like I warmed up to meet. So just to keep pushing on all the events, and also I only got 299 on my vault, and so I think that my also goal for vault is to continue getting high 9875s and 99s, and possibly a 10, and being the same as well. I use my dismount. I'm sticking it more often. I just perfected a lot of my skills, and I also have the experience of competing in such a big arena and everything that I feel like I'm not going to be as nervous as I am. So I'm able to do everything more better, I guess you can say. But just my goals is just getting higher scores for my team because just a tenth like really changes a lot.
Right.
Mm,
And college gymnastics, I've learned from the other three gymnasts I've done, it's more team orientated than
yes.
the other kind of lead and stuff like that. So honestly, college gymnastics to me is more entertaining even than the Olympics because then you have like the spins and stuff like that. It's almost like college football. It's more in it, kind of more interactive than NFL. Kind of the same kind of area, I feel like, with college
Definitely.
for sure.
Yeah,
So,
team is so much fun. And like also we make goals as a team as well. And we believe that we really pushed ourselves to everyone last year that this year we're just like pushing so much harder than we did last year, and we're just like working 10 times harder because we believe that we deserve to be in the top
for sure. So, what is like the craziest environment have you been in for gymnastics?
5. Competition,
Competition wise, yeah.
I would honestly have to say regionals. Regionals is a different feeling. You just have 10 times more adrenaline and everything. You're competing against the top schools out of the whole NCAA.
Mhm.
So the competition is so high and you need to be on your A game. You can't even let like 10th go. So being at regionals definitely challenges you mentally 100%. So
Sure. So, what is your favorite like routine on beam?
well, so I do like what kind of skill do I like the best?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Well, I like everything on beam, but I would say probably my series or
Okay, for sure. So, how is the feeling when you stick a landing?
oh, so it is the best feeling ever. It's so amazing. I actually changed my dismount, so I'm actually doing a new dismount this year. It's easier for me to stick all the time because last year there would be some meets where I wouldn't stick my dismount, and sticking is very important in college because it's a 10th or more, and
Mhm.
you keep on practicing just sticking, and then you're going to help your team out a lot. Like one step on a dismount can make and break you from going to nationals. And so my team has been sticking on landings a lot in the summer and preseason. We've been working a lot on sticks and landings and everything because we felt like that was one of the things that separated us from the top teams. So
Mhm.
definitely sticking a dismount, even on bars, is like and wall.
Nice. So, what is kind of the off-season kind of workout and stuff like that? Get into shape for
Yeah.
the flips and the kind of the strength that you need on the bars, and then the balance as well on the beam.
Yeah. So after season, we get a couple weeks off or a month, and you have the option to stay in the summer and work out. Basically, our whole team did, except 2 girls stayed in the summer. So what we do at Kentucky, we do summer weights, and it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and we compete with all the other Olympic teams in a weight room every morning, and they just push us, and push us to get in the best shape possible. And our goal is we push in the weight room because it will make it easier to push in the gym and get to that national championship. So I just experienced summer weights for the first time this year, and it was just amazing because I also got to get closer with the other athletes and the other teams. But summer weights really helped us get into shape. And preseason, sorry, in the summer practices, it's all voluntary. My team was there every single day when we had it. We pushed hard. We worked on upgrades. We worked on perfecting our skills from last year and everything. And then once preseason started, that's when we're in groups and our coaches give us assignments, and we just keep on working hard on everything. And we have weights 2 days a week to continue that strength, and also having conditioning and cardio in the gym as well. So It's very fast moving. We're never like just relaxing or stopping. We're always moving and moving and moving, and we probably burn so many calories a day. But yeah, we're just all working so hard and like we never stop working hard each day.
I mean, you gotta work hard to play hard. You gotta get that going. So, speaking of playing hard, so what does the NIL do for you?
So, well, I believe the NIL does for me is it allows people to who I am outside of gymnastics. I actually recently just signed with an agency, the Hawker family, and I believe it's going to help me get my name and image out there so people don't know me just because of gymnastics and they know me more as a person and they want to go along with me in my life and everything. And I believe I have a lot of experience with a lot of different things in life, even gymnastics. So I can go and help younger girls or other people that are also my age. So I believe this is an opportunity that was, well, this should have happened a long time ago, but this helps athletes like allow the opportunities that other athletes get. So.
It's nice that you're trying to get back to younger generations on things that you've learned over the way here and still have to learn here because you're only 1 year in here. You got next 3 years to win that national championship. You guys are already ranked in the top 15 this year. And it sounds like you're improving and the program's starting to improve. And then recruits are starting to come in a lot.
Yes.
So it's starting to build. So here on Regan's Corner, we have a segment called Hot Corner, okay? Okay, so we're going to give the audience some of your favorite things so they get to know you a little bit better. A little nice little transition there.
Cool.
So, what is your favorite thing to eat? Like, what's your go-to snack and stuff like that?
I don't snack often. I just started snacking once I got to college because from like practice to classes, I get very hungry. My go-to snack is probably like a granola bar or pretzels. I love. But my favorite food is Italian food. I'm Italian, so I love Italian food. I also love Mexican food. There's a lot of Mexican food in Kentucky. And chicken is one of my favorites ever. Kentucky chicken is so good. And I love sushi.
Sure. That's a big list there. But
I love food.
So what is kind of the feeling of the Kentucky football team beating Florida?
Oh my gosh, that was so amazing. It was so cool. It was sold out and everything. I actually felt like Kentucky football at that game was like Clemson, or Alabama, like the student section, just everyone there. I was like in the student section, I would just look around and I was like, this is insane, the amount of people are there and everything. But it was such a cool feeling beating Florida. We all rushed the field and everything. It was so cool. It was such a cool experience.
Sure.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite sports movie of all time?
My favorite what? I'm sorry.
Favorite sports movie of all time?
Sports movie. Oh, that's a good one. I really like. So I actually don't know the name of it, but I watched this movie with my family during COVID, and it was a football movie. It had to do with this guy, and it was like a Christian football movie. I can't remember what it's called, but it's on Netflix.
Okay, I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Was it like a running back that died in the beginning?
Yes.
Okay, I think it was like when the game stands still or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's a really one of those, I don't know, it's a very good movie, but also I love, I'm blanking on the name. What's the one that everyone likes with, big guy? What's his name? Where they take him in to their family.
Oh, The Blind Side.
Nice! The Blind Side.
Okay. Well, we're definitely making this into your intro. Kentucky Gymnast says the big guy for Blind Side, sticks and butts.
I'm actually, to be honest, I'm not a movie girl. I'm not a movie girl, but I am a movie girl now. My boyfriend got me into watching a lot of movies, but I never really watched TV shows either.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. But yeah, The Blind Side.
It's fine. It's fine. But what is kind of, if you didn't have to, if Kentucky was an offer, what school would you have picked?
That's an interesting question because I probably would have picked Ohio State. Those are like my two that I was very skeptical about. I actually have this whole story on how I decided to go to Kentucky, if you want to hear it.
Hey, bring it on, bring it on.
Actually, a very good story. So Ohio State was interested in me while I had the other offers from ASU and stuff, but Kentucky did not even know about me then. They offered another girl, and then they ended up talking to my coach a couple months after, saying they think that they really missed out on me, and they asked me to graduate early, but I didn't want to because I didn't want to miss my senior year. And so I wasn't so pleased with the offers that I had. So one day I emailed about like 30 schools, and I go downstairs to my father, and he asked me if I emailed Kentucky, and I said no. And he asked me why, and I said because I'm not good enough. And so he told me to go upstairs and email them. So I emailed them, and the next day I get into practice, and my coach comes up to me. He goes, "Did you email Kentucky?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" And he was like, "Oh, they're coming in. They want to see you." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool." Actually, that was the only school that got back to my coach out of all the other ones.
That's
So
great.
yeah, so she ended up coming in, watching me, and then I ended up going on my own official, and I fell in love with it. And I'm in the Lexington airport, and my coach calls me and goes, "Ohio State wants you to call them tomorrow." And I was like, I had my mind still in Kentucky. Now this is coming into my life. So they ended up calling Ohio State, as Kentucky offered me when I was on my own official. And so I was like, I don't know where to go. So I made a cons list. I prayed a lot. And I don't know if you're familiar with what a gymnastics practice gym looks like. There's a lot of like red and blue mats. And so I've been in a gymnastics gym my whole life. I walked into the gym one day, and like the blue mats like just were popping out to me, and like they were just catching my eye for some reason, and it normally like never happens because I'm so used to seeing it. And Kentucky's thing is sea blue, so I was like, yeah, Kentucky's the place for me. So
Sure. I mean, if they're calling right away, you're like, yeah, I don't know if I'm good enough for SEC school. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you've made the right choice.
Yeah,
It sounds like they really, really wanted you.
Yes.
For sure. So, what are kind of, let's see here, what is some superstitions that you have before a meet?
I actually don't have any.
Hmm.
Once I got to college, I would say my hair, the way it's braided, but I changed my hair last year about like 3 times, and it had no effect. So I wouldn't say that. I don't think this is a really superstition, but I do like my makeup at the same time all the time. But it's not to where like, oh, if I mess it up or if I'm changing it, like I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh. No, I don't think I've ever had a superstition. Yeah.
Okay. So, what are the like floor routines that you did in club?
Floor.
Floor, yeah.
So I did a double pike my first pass, and then I did a front leg, front full to a stone jump, and then I ended my last pass with Rudy.
Nice.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on to Regan's Corner. We hopefully have you during the season and kind of see how the projections are going and stuff like that. But as always, my friend, stay froggy.
Thank you so much, Josh.
You're welcome.